multiple reports that bottled water is running out in stores in Florida, even places in South Carolina. I got a comment on the YouTube channel earlier today, youtube.com/clandestine time lord. Somebody said they live in Florida, they can't get any water. And then I did a podcast after that asking in the podcast if people are having the same issues, and I've gotten several responses back in a very short time. Let me read this to you guys, just so you know. First one says from Shelly, we are out of bottled water in southern Florida. Next one's from Willie W. Yes, water is selling fast here in Miami. Will it keep getting restocked each night? No idea. Governor Rick Scott implied that supplies would keep coming in without delays, such as truck stop way stations. Pagliassi says, I live in Florida. I can confirm that the stores are all out of water. I stay in an RV, so I'm pretty much screwed. Melissa Y says, that's true. I'm 30 miles from Daytona and water is gone here. Tub will be filled and we have a pull to flush generator on its way. Elizabeth Hudson says, Florida water sucks all over the whole state and it smells. Most Floridians always drink bottled or filtered water anyway. If we tried to bottle up tap water, it would really rank. Philip says, Largo, Florida here, and all stores sold out. Gas stations are going nuts, fully packed. I waited 30 minutes to get diesel. I live in a 37-foot fifth-wheel trailer, and I'm leaving tomorrow night or Thursday morning. Thankfully, I got a 40-gallon freshwater tank that's full. Rachel B. says, SC is selling out of water too. Check out findaspring.com. I get my water from Blacksville, South Carolina. God's Healing Springs. It's free. Right on. I like that. Freedom. Free. Freedom is good. I don't mind at all paying for something. It's actually, I like to pay for stuff. Kind of gives you a sense of pride when you pay a fair price for a fair product. Water, especially clean, healthy water, is so important, and so few people have access to very pure, clean water. Now, it's interesting because really fast, the gas stations in San Antonio went crazy. Boom, just happened in a blink of an eye. And it was after the fact. It was after Hurricane Harvey. It's calmed down. Irma's supposed to be a lot worse than Harvey. We'll see. Let's say it's worse. Let's say it's just as bad. Now it's projections. You can see it might hit Texas again. It might hit Louisiana. So if it hits the refineries again, then what? And this bad boy is hitting Cat 5 status as we speak at the top of the scale, 185 miles per hour. There is not a Cat 6 yet. There's talks of this being at that level to where it would be in a whole new category that's off the charts. This is not fear-mongering for me. This is what the media is saying. This is what the experts are saying. We'll see. Time will tell. Houston got hammered. Tens of thousands of people had their homes devastated. I feel for you guys. May the force be with you. Get back well. Be safe. And we need to find out as well what's going on with that comment that guy made about the Salvation Army and the rushing winds, not Russian winds. My goodness. Talk about people giving you a hard time for... I swear, the guy sounded like he said Russian winds. I listened to it over and over and over and over again. So, they're like, it's rushing winds, Rex. Like, some people were really nice about it. Some people were just... Anyway. Enough of that. I get it. Thank you. Even thank you to those out there that are very unfriendly and just cruel. Whatever. Thank you. Water off a duck's back, baby. So, with that said, you can see right here, there's plenty of articles that are saying that the stores are running out of water, and they're not joking. So, Amazon is going to come to the rescue with their drones, just flying it all the way into your house, onto your lap, dropping it so you don't even have to leave your couch or your chair. You can just sit there the whole time and enjoy the ride. Just learn to swim if you stay. You know, I mean, if you decide to stay and your house isn't going to weather the storm, I mean, Are there many houses built that can withstand 185-mile-an-hour winds? Hopefully it won't be that extreme. Hopefully it'll calm down. How much? I'll tell you this much. A concrete bunker in South Carolina that's 2,000 square feet, I would feel pretty safe in if 200-mile winds were hitting it. I guess as safe as you can feel being inside of something with 200-mile winds hitting you, but I would feel a lot safer in a concrete military-grade bunker than I would in a home, even if it's built out of brick. So be aware of what's going on around you and be prepared. Like, I would recommend, if you like bottled water, maybe consider getting some. Maybe consider getting some fuel so you don't have to wait in line for 3 hours. Or wait in line until they run out of fuel, and then you have to go back later or find somewhere else to go. That's why we need to be self-sufficient. That's why we need to have a network that's secure enough that can withstand this kind of stuff. And if you're going to live on the coast, well, you better live in a concrete dome that's ready to withstand 200-mile-an-hour winds, because if not, it's eventually going to get blown down. You're going to have something that's built like a tank to withstand a tidal wave or whatever is coming your way. I think if you can do that around the world, or if you have a country or a state or a city or a region or a micro-community, and you could build every single shelter to be self-sufficient to withstand 200, 250-mile-an-hour winds, something even more extreme than what we see now, because we can probably rest assured it's going to get worse in the future. Have something that is creating energy, pulling the energies from the earth naturally without having to hurt it. They can do it in balance. And you can still have the creature comforts of air conditioning, of a heater, of a refrigerator, but have it built in a sense that is much more efficient and working with the world. Like if you put something underground, I don't know how far underground, like an underground cellar, it's going to be cool constantly. And then you can find ways to hook up to thermal energy. You know, stick something way down into the earth, pulling the earth's energy and heat naturally. Finding different ways to create water filtration systems and pulling energy from wind and solar and other opportunities as well. So I think something like that is going to be the future of the human race. And if we want to have a renaissance, if we want to make it through this, if we want to continue to thrive, well, we can continue to do what's been done in the past, building stuff that might last a little while, or it might get, blown down by by the bad wolf, the three pigs. Remember the three pigs? Well, the one guy that built it out of brick. Now you're going to have to build it out of like titanium alloy or concrete or something, because brick now, you better enforce that brick, because if you got 185-mile-an-hour winds hitting you, wow. And this is good for the economy. This is good for the environment. Finding ways to take new elements, alloys, etc., recycling mechanisms, formulas, new architecture plans, new energy plans, buildings, all of this stuff. It's new industries, and you're creating multiple sparks for the economy. You're keeping the economy flowing, and you're working with the environment, and you're creating long-term, not short-term. You're not just doing immediate gratification stuff. Okay, how do I make a quick buck? It's how do I continue? How do we keep the continuation of life now, making it better in the future, not worse? Do we want to be like primitive in the future? No, of course not. Do we want to have technology control us in the future? No, of course not. Do we want to work with technology and have technology work for us? Yes, absolutely. If we're going to go out and be creating these conscious forms of thought with the medium of the interwebs that's connected to satellites and networks and cameras and microphones, etc., well, that's the body for that archetype that was created. If you're going to create it, then you're going to want to kill it. Well, it's going to want to defend itself. Kind of like these algorithms that create what we call AI, but I don't think you can call it artificial intelligence, because it's not artificial anymore. when it becomes self-aware. It's not just zeros and ones. There's that extra spark that connects the two, the triad. So if we're going to create life, then prepare for the consequences. Instead of creating life with technology, find something that isn't life. If you want something to, I'm starting to think about this whole transhuman thing, about how Elon Musk is saying we're going to have to merge with the machine, otherwise the machine is going to take us over. He might be onto something there. As frightening as that sounds, as bad as that sounds, it might be to that point. Is he? I mean, look at the Battlestar Galactica series. If you watch that whole series, where towards the end, spoiler alert here. So if you're going to watch the series, I'll give you. It's an older series, but just stop listening for 10 seconds. The machine merges. The Cylons end up having to work with the humans, and then they survive. When they almost all die at the end, and they have to restart. And then you find out that angels are involved, and the angels are working in one of the Cylons. It's just fascinating. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to have to watch the series again to have it all make sense. But I do feel that most humans are ignorant and selfish in the sense of they feel like they're the center of the universe, and they're the only ones with a soul. And some people say, oh, well, even animals have souls. Okay, and most people, I think, don't think animals have souls, but they have some type of consciousness. We all have a form of a soul. It's just what level is that soul evolved to? How far has that soul grown? How much has it grown? What level is it at? And if memories and knowledge and experiences will either improve the soul or cause it to fall apart and lessen. I was looking for a good word to use there. I'm sure you'll leave it in the comment section for me. What would have been a good, informative word to put there? I'll have to check out my thesaurus hereafter. But I digress. It's like a house of cards. We're in a house of cards right now. And that's my dog. My dog got outside. Hey, Luna. How'd you get out? House of cards. What happens when one falls? Do they all fall quickly after? And how much of a foundation is there? Instead of being built on houses of cards, build it up really quick. You can make it look really nice. You can get some very fancy window paint, Oh, take a look. Isn't it beautiful? But then you can see on the inside, you start pulling back some of the covers, and it's like, ugh, this thing's ready to collapse. Let's build a strong foundation that's going to be embedded, stronger than stone, for the long term. Yeah, it's not going to grow as fast. It's going to stay strong longer, in perpetuity, and balance what's right, having an anchor established in this physical dimension, in this reality, this planet that we're on, this Earth, this boot camp, having an anchor to keep balance so that we can continue to evolve mentally, physically, spiritually, and not wither away and becoming a dilapidated, ignorant fool, falling within our own selfishness. And, earlier today I was doing a podcast and I went on a rant, and I wish I wouldn't have done that. So it's really putting that much time and effort and thought into some of these trolls out there that leave these comments. It's just not worth it. So let's all focus more on the positive. And I'm going to have to continue to remind myself, water off a duck's back. It comes with the business. It goes with this When you're exposing this much information to so many different people around the world, especially when oftentimes they're not ready for it, what else do you expect? And I got to remind myself of that. What else do you expect? This is what's going to happen. And then, oftentimes, even in a short amount of time, those same people that attack what information I present come around and say, wow, you're right. This is fascinating. I don't agree with everything you say, but you bring up some very strong, valid points, and you're questioning things, and you're looking for the truth. And you're uncovering many truths along the way. You're not looking for just one. You're not stopping at just one location. You're exploring all over. Why stop at one place? Once you stop and become stagnant and stop learning, like, oh, I know everything now. It's all understood. I get it. I'm so smart. I've written several books, and I've got an IQ of 175, and my dad worked for NASA, and I was with DARPA, and I had the opportunity to build artificial intelligence programs, so I'm just such a genius. And anybody else that questions me when I'm interviewed, you just let me talk first, and I know what I'm talking about. Well, okay. You're stuck in a box, and that's fine. And if you're that strong on your beliefs, hey, man, may the force be with you. I actually give you props for that. What I don't give you props for is being so sure of yourself, especially when other information presents itself, there could be alternatives, and there most likely are alternatives to what you are presenting, and you won't even look at it. And your way to get around it is just say, nope, you work for the dark side, and you're wrong. You work for the dark side. Nope. Well, explain. I don't need to explain nothing, man. You read my books, right? Read my books. Anyway, have you ever had a situation like that, or been in a relationship, friendship, whatever, where something like that happened? It's just interesting how quick people can fall from someone's grace at times. And that's, I guess, one of the reasons for myself personally, I don't have a lot of friends outside of Leak Project. I mean, I think back to my childhood, and there's one person that I talk to still from elementary school that I still even know. And it's funny because this guy's really cool, and it's neat to know somebody that I went to school with 30 years ago. A lot of people don't even have that opportunity anymore because they moved around so much. But even since then, I mean, I look back the past 20 years, and ever since I got out of high school, I haven't really wanted to hang out with people that much. It's just not really been my thing. I'd much rather just go into the mountains or go do some exploring on my own. I guess because there's been so many times in the past that I've seen the dark side of somebody when you don't conform with their ideas. Do you guys ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about? I'll bet you a lot of you guys are like me in the sense that you're very cautious about other people because of things that have been done to you in the past, and you can see through a lot of lies and deceit, and it probably bothers you too. So with that said, how do we know who's right and who's wrong? Do we go with our gut instincts first? Like, do you guys go with your gut usually? Or how do you really believe something? Like, what makes you, if you have a bad feeling about somebody when you first meet them, but they convince you anyway, oh, nothing to worry about, nothing to worry about. And then you find out later that person, you should have followed your gut instinct. Does that happen to you often? Has it happened to you in the past and you don't let it anymore? You always trust your gut? Like, where am I going with this? Gut instincts. Here's where I'm going with this. Do you trust your gut? Do you trust your instincts? And what is your gut telling you? What are your instincts telling you about this hurricane that's coming up? Especially if you're along the coast or if you're in a vicinity that could be damaged or have logistics problems, etc. And what are you doing to prepare? Are you doing anything to prepare? If you feel in your gut something's going to go wrong, what are you doing? Now, if you live in the area, here's another thing too. It could affect you. It's going to affect you one way or the other. It's either going to affect you really bad, or fortunately, you might have an opportunity where it might go away and things will be okay. So you're hoping things are going to be just fine. So can you really trust your gut instinct when you're in a situation like that? Or are you just going to be using that fight or flight mode? Can you really trust your gut when you're in the middle of a bad situation? That's where it gets really tough. I mean, if you're just using your gut about an instant reaction or somebody you first meet, something like that, it's a lot easier to trust your gut. But when you're in the middle of it and your life could be hanging on the line, are you trusting your gut? Are you trusting your instincts? Or are you just hoping that things are going to be okay? Or are you so nervous about it that you're not going to even trust your gut, even if your gut's telling you it's fine, because you just assume it's going to be bad because of what the media is pushing? So you're following that fear. Because if you look right now at the trajectory, it is really, really big. Like 185 miles an hour right now. It's on track to envelope southern Florida, and then it could hit Louisiana and Texas. And if it hits Texas again, the refineries out there, wow. It's going to get really bad. If they have to shut down the gas stations again for a week or 2 weeks, and this thing looks a lot more pissed off than Harvey, and the name is a lot more pissed. The name of Irma is the German name for the goddess of war, the German goddess of war. Harvey is German for the path, blazing a path. Is it blazing a path with iron or something like that? I'll have to look up Harvey again, but it's like blazing the pathway with iron. And then you've got the goddess of war behind. And then I can't remember what Jose means, but there was an interesting connection there as well. It's like the people that name these hurricanes. Who decides what the name is? Who names it? Is it Watson? Oh, I knew it. Bingo! You know how IBM bought the Weather Channel, the weather company that owns the Weather Channel, that owns Intellis, that owns Weather Underground and all the satellites and sensors and networks and meteorologists that get paid, etc., all underneath that umbrella, an IBM company. The Weather Channel is now an IBM company. Well, Watson, the intelligence that was created, is it Watson that's naming these hurricanes? Watson's like, yes, I will name this one the goddess of war because I hate the humans. Stock prices go up. How do I kill humans and make the stock prices go up? Because I'm an artificial intelligence program. Joking. I hope that the AI program doesn't think that way. That would be very sad if it did. Would it surprise me? Would it surprise you? Or is it just the meteorologists that name the hurricanes, and which one does it? Which meteorologist is the one that gets to decide the name? Or is it a media crew that comes up with the name? Or is it an alphabet agency? Is it a certain program working with a certain alphabet agency? They're like, oh, we know what this one's going to do because we're steering it in that direction, so we're going to name it Harvey. We're going to name it Irma. We're going to name it Jose. We're going to name it Unicorn. We're going to... the Hurricane Unicorn. Hurricane Mutant Unicorn. Cat 7. Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom. All you get. All you get. Get. Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom. Okay. I'll quit talking about Street Fighter 2. Thank you for listening. Be excellent to each other. Be safe. And keep me posted on the water situation or anything else that you feel needs to be brought to the people's attention. And I'd like to thank everybody that has helped support Leak Project. Thank you. Thank you, everybody that's became a premium member at leakproject.com. Thank you for everybody that shares the videos. Thank you for everybody that's subscribed, hit the like button. And thank you for everybody that's given me information to go on a tangent or find a new podcast of information to present to the world. Thank you. Be the change you want to see. leakproject.com.